Hello, listeners. If you've enjoyed these narrations, please click on that like and subscribe button.
Would you believe me if I told you that I'm from another planet? I doubt it. Not many humans believe such a thing to be possible. Those that do are laughed at and mocked. My name is not David, although that is the name I will assign here on Earth. My real name is Averick, and I've been here for 8 years. I've been sentenced to life alteration. This sentence is a rare one. It banishes you to Earth to live out your days without contact to the rest of the galaxy. I don't know why they didn't kill me, but I know why I wasn't put in a normal prison. If I told the guards what I saw, my story would continue to spread. The administration does not want that. Here on Earth, my words cannot leave this planet. The Milky Way galaxy has 6 regions, you see. I came from Centra, about 25,000 light years away. Earth resides in Old Dathalo, a region forbidden from any transportation unless explicitly permitted by the Dathalo administration. It's the newest of the 6, although still very old. Dathalo used to be one of the 5 regions, but about 4,400 years ago, they split into 2. Much of it became New Dathalo, with 10 light-year radius around Earth's sun becoming Old Dathalo. The latter, which we are in, is the only region without an administration, and instead decisions here are voted on by all administration. The split is also where the transport restriction took effect. You see, it's no coincidence that Earth gets few visitors from beyond the stars. Earth was chosen to be a no-contact planet. All that time ago, space travel was a luxury, only for the rich or members of the administration. But once it became more mainstream, new restrictions and guidelines had to be thought out and enforced harder. One of those new restrictions was to choose a planet which was full of life, and then prevent anyone from ever traveling there, in case they needed for a contact-free planet ever came to be. Earth had only recently been added to the life-bearing planet registration at that time, which is partially why it had the largest known population with 0 registered space transport vehicles. With that, Earth was chosen. This planet missed out on the massive boom in space travel and contact. Going from one side of the galaxy to the other side would take years, and even a message would take weeks. I'm of course translating it to Earth time. Research skyrocketed, as did the economy. The big travel push is something everyone learns about growing up, and it sounded fascinating. Getting from one side of the galaxy to the other became something you could do in just a few days, and messages were practically instant now. To this day, those speeds haven't improved much. It really did hit a peak. Before my life as David, I used to work for Portsco, the official cargo and delivery partner for New Dathalo. My final delivery was a solo one, though not something in my regular routine. I had to take a shipment from the Dathalo Administration HQ to a research facility. I was supposed to travel through Centra as it was the fastest route, but I didn't do this. I went around to visit a friend who lives in another region. Her name is Jessenia. I didn't see her often, and whilst I went around code, I decided there's no harm in a little detour for a quick visit. As it turned out, this small detour is what saved my life. Upon arriving at my friend's home, I went to the back ship to check on the cargo. What I found instead was a device about half the size of me. I stepped closer and noticed a second, smaller device attached to the large one. I was beyond confused and almost forgot where I was as my friend seemingly appeared behind me. "Averick! Hey, I thought it was you. How are you doing?" Hearing Jessenine's voice grounded me. I told her the situation and asked her what she thought was going on. She was always good with technology. I didn't expect it to be a big deal. I even thought that maybe the device themselves were just the cargo. She immediately identified both devices, telling me that the larger of the 2 was an explosive, and the smaller was a tracking device. It's apparently a common setup to have an explosion happen when the device reaches a specific location. She tinkered around with the tracking device a little and discovered that it was tracking my position relative to Centra. If I had completed the route as intended, I would have died. I stood there letting this sink in as she played around with the device more. I wasn't sure what she was doing, and I didn't care. All I could think about was how narrowly I avoided death, and why the administration would even want me dead in the first place. Her voice sliced through the silence and took me out of my trance. It's not sending a message anywhere. It's storing your position entirely locally. They don't even know you're here. Please just stay the night for a little bit and maybe we can figure this out. Sleep was not on our minds from that night. We stayed up discussing why something like this would even happen. We spoke about the recent politics tension between Centra and the new Dathlo. Jacini theorized that they could be using the explosion to stage an attack, being able to pin it on Centra. They could also have gotten Vaseline on their side, and as they'd be furious that the package never arrived. Of course, many questions were still unanswered. What package was so important that it would cause the administration to be furious? Better yet, where was the package now? Could New Dathlo still have it? Stealing a package from an ally whilst pinning the blame on an enemy. Only losing a single delivery guy in the process certainly wouldn't be a big deal for them. I decided I'd end up staying a little longer than intended, afraid to return home. I was there for 3 nights before news broke of the important delivery going missing in Centra. I guess without the explosion being noticed, they had to wait a few days to announce it. And then they showed a picture of me, saying I was presumed dead, a casualty of the event. I officially could not show my face in public again now. My friend was getting messages from family members asking if she was okay, knowing that she was friends of mine. She lied by omission, not telling anybody I was with her. We knew what would happen if New Dathlo found out that I was still alive. Weeks went by. I did not leave her house, and she only left for work and other necessities. I hated every second of it. I wanted to go out. I wanted to talk to other people. I wanted to find out what had happened. I couldn't sit here any longer without doing something. Every day I saw more about the tension rising and more lies being told by the Dathlo's administration. I'll be honest. I knew what I could do was minimal. In a galaxy with life in the trillions, my voice being heard was unlikely. But I had to do something. Jess and Eve felt the same way. So we devised a plan. We knew we would get caught, but we thought we could at least go out being something good. I was going to stay at her house, contact everyone I knew, tell them that I was alive, tell them that it was all a hoax and that an explosion was supposed to kill me. Meanwhile, Jessiny would use her ID card to get back in the Dathlo Administration HQ, hoping that they hadn't taken my ID off the system yet. She would find her way into the logs and figure out where the cargo was swapped for the explosion, and then she would find it and do something. We weren't really sure what yet. We didn't even know what the cargo was. We said our goodbyes and wished each other good luck. It wasn't a bulletproof plan, but it was something. I wish every day that I knew I would never see her again. I wish I had told her not to go, and done it myself. But instead I watched as she set off in her ship unknowing that she would not return. A few hours later I'd still heard nothing. I was getting worried. Maybe I got a little too carried away in drawing attention to the situation, but I broke the plan slightly and left her house. I had already called all my family, but it wasn't enough. I needed the public to see that I was alive. So I told everyone who was anybody. I told anybody I could find. Some of them didn't recognize me, but most people did. It was successful enough. I got a message from Jessiny at this point. She had sent me multiple video files which looked to be taken directly off the Dathlo's administration servers. Somehow she had done it. She had found what this package was, and part of me wished I never knew. I have seen far more things than anyone on this planet, yet this is something I cannot get out of my head. The first video was eerie enough in and of itself. 2 prisoners locked in a room. They had a bed each and a shared toilet. They also had a section of food on the shelves and a television. They were not living happily, but they were alive. The second video showed a strange mist filling the room. You could hear both of them screaming. A scream of agony and pain from one and screams of horror and sadness from the other. One of them was being killed and the other was watching it unfold. The 2 screams turned into one as the mist cleared from the room, leaving only one person left. But what happens next is something that I can hardly comprehend. Their tears stopped as they got up and began to look confused. They grabbed some food and started to watch television. The third video showed guards entering the cell and the prisoner asking, "Why are there 2 beds here? Who else are you going to bring in here with me?" The prisoner had no memory of their friend ever existing. That mist had not only killed them, but killed any thoughts of them. It seems that physical evidence of their existence is left unaffected, but memories are erased. It was at this point that I noticed that communication network was comprised of 3 people. I thought it was just me and Jasani, but before the video files being sent, there was a message from someone called Kindley. The message sent a chill down my spine. "I think they're about to find me. Averick, you've been a good friend, and it's been nice spending time with you recently. Jasani, you will always be the love of my life. Please get out of here. Don't let us both die. I love you both. I hope we did good here. Goodbye." There had been a third person this entire time. Jessanine had a partner. I had no memory of them, not even the slightest. I didn't know what happened to Jessanine after that, but I know that the mist did not consume her as it did Kindley, because I could remember her vividly. I was arrested shortly after though, and brought down here to Earth without any of my possessions. I can only assume that Jessanine landed the same fate as me, and I have spent the last 8 years trying to track her down. New Dathalo has a weapon. They can take out powerful leaders and nobody would know, as nobody would remember. At least as long as they remember to destroy all physical evidence manually. As far as I'm concerned, they've got what is possibly the most powerful weapon in the galaxy. I'm making this post today for 2 reasons. The first is that I've noticed a lot more UFO sightings in recent months. I have even had first-hand sighting encounters seeing them. I know that these are not general citizens, as under the rules of old Dathalo, this can only be official members of the administration, and their reasons for visiting Earth so frequently cannot be good. My thoughts are that they want to test their mist on a large population, erasing random people from this planet. They won't kill large amounts as they know that Earth has to stay alive for testing ground. That leads me to my second reason. Yesterday I walked into my bedroom and I saw a framed photo on the wall. It had me and a woman I had never seen before, and 2 children. I think I had a family. I think the mist took them from me. So please keep an eye out for anyone you don't recognize in your photos. It's important to stay vigilant and aware. This planet is nothing but a prison and a testing ground for them, so they won't hesitate with whoever they want to erase. And Jessanine, if you're reading this, please be safe and find me